Okay, so the problem is to sketch a graph of y equals 4 cosine 3x. So here it is. That's the basic cosine graph. Starts at the top, goes through the middle to the bottom, and then back up. Basic cosine graph. All we have to do is fill in the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of a single wave of the function, and then we can extend it to do more waves if we want, but probably one wave is just fine. So all that's left to do is fill in those points, the coordinates of those points, and slap some axes on there, an x-axis and a y-axis. So what we're going to do is make a table of a single cosine wave. This is 4 cosine 3x. So the values of cosine that we know are cosine of 0, cosine of pi over 2, cosine of pi, cosine of 3 pi over 2, and cosine of 2 pi. So we're going to make use of those. So here's our table, the header row here. The y values that we want are 4 cosine 3x, so we're going to want to know the values of 4 cosine 3x. In order to know what 4 cosine 3x is, we have to know what cosine of 3x is. In order to know what cosine of 3x is, we have to know what 3x is. And in order to know what 3x is, we have to know what x is. Okay, so the column right before 3x, right before cosine 3x, is 3x. And that's where we start. We fill in those values, 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, or 2 pi, because we know how to take the cosine of those. And so then going to the right, cosine of 0 is 1, cosine of pi over 2 is 0, cosine of pi is negative 1, 3 pi over 2 is 0, and 2 pi has a cosine of 1. And then the last column, 4 times that, is just 4, 0, negative 4, 0, and 4. Then going back to the left to fill in the x value, 3x, if we know 3x, what 3x is, then to find out what x is, we just divide by 3. So that gives us our values for the first column. For example, pi over 2 divided by 3 is pi over 6. Pi divided by 3 is pi over 3. I wrote it as 2 pi over 6, just to keep a common denominator for all these values in the first column. 3 pi over 2 divided by 3 is 3 pi over 6. And 2 pi divided by 3 is 4 pi over 6. So that's it. That gives us our table of values for one wave of 4 cosine 3x. The x values are the first column, the y values are the last column. So now all we have to do is fill those in. For example, the first point is 0, 4. Okay, and the next point is pi over 6, comma 0. Then 2 pi over 6, negative 4. And 3 pi over 6, 0. And then 4 pi over 6, 4. And so the last thing is to put some axes on there. X-axis at y equals 0. And a y-axis at x equals 0. And there you have it, close enough. There's the graph of 4 cosine 3x, at least one cycle of it. The good thing about having the x values with the common denominator of 6 is that if you wanted to extend, it's easy to do. 0, pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6. You would keep going to 5 pi over 6, 6 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6, and keep alternating the y values, 4, 0, negative 4, 0, 4, etc., according to cosine. So look for the next video where we'll do one a little more complicated with a phase shift. Y equals 5 sine 2x plus pi.